Louisiana beer reviews, we have Flying Fish Brewing Company's Constant Motion. Thanks, Wayne, for sending me Constant Motion. Oh, wait, you can't see it with all the constant motion. Ha ha. Anyway, coffee IPA. Well, that's different. Like our caffeinated pals over at Revolution Coffee Roasters, non-stop innovation keeps our wheels turning and our fish wings flapping. We put our collective brews, beans, and brains together to bring you Constant Motion, a wonderfully complex coffee IPA. Copious amounts of tropical citra, mosaic, and Azaka hops are enhanced by bright berry notes and the smooth caramel finish from Revolution's masterfully balanced house cold brew, brewed and canned by Flying Fish Brewing Company of Somerdale, New Jersey. Thanks, Wayne. I never would have seen it around here, I don't suppose, but I say that and then stuff will show up. But it is not even listed on their website. It is not listed on Beer Advocate or Rate Beer. It is on Untapped. They're giving it a 75, which is a high score. See, how many check-ins did they have for that? Only 121 unique check-ins. 121, which is very low for Untapped. Usually they be in the 10,000s, 10, 20, 30,000 range for beers. So, this is the first video review for this beer in the world. Unless a beer a day with TK beats me, because Wayne sent him one too, I see. So, it may not in the end be the first one in the world, but you'll see by the posting. But that doesn't really matter. We're all getting it at the same time. So, orange appearance. Gold orange with the light shining at it. Yeah. Oh, looks like an India Pale Ale. But with coffee. Now, is it decaffeinated? This I don't know. I know there's some deal with caffeine blended with alcohol. The U.S. government cracked down on that with the Four Loko Extreme situation about 12 years ago, when they had the 14% alcohol with the high caffeine. Supposedly dangerous, but I think maybe drinking 4 cans, 23.5 ounce cans might have been the problem. But anyway, those crazy college kids. Glad I didn't get involved with all that in college, I'm tell you right now. I mean, it was going on, obviously, but I don't want any part of it. Got the heater running, so it's making that humming, fan noise. Sorry, don't like being cold. Once the cold comes in, I'm not dying to go outside and do the reviews, but maybe tomorrow I'll go sit out in the sun. When we get rid of daylight savings time, it'll be the true time. So this time in the morning will be the actual time in the morning, and I have a better light source out there and warmth from my body. Yeah, it's mild coffee. Tastes like it smells like it must be medium roast. I don't get tired of coffee. Let's go with the taste. Cheers. 7.5% alcohol. IBU's not listed. Oh. Best by March 19th, 2022 at 10:19 and 55 seconds a.m. Is it a good idea to blend a strong India, like a double India Pale Ale or extra India Pale Ale with coffee? It's an idea. Is it a good idea? Not necessarily. The bitterness units must be about 75. They don't list them, but it's very bitter. Now, coffee sometimes, if you don't sweeten it or put cream in it or milk, it'd be so accurately bitter, especially if it's a dark roast. But this one is just bitter in a good way. Body is high medium, finish is dry. Sweetness level is low. I would say like 1.5 sugar cubes out of 5. Not too sweet. Bitterness units, 4.5 out of 5. And it might be higher. How about coffee notes in the flavor? Minimal, minimal, minimal. And the aroma, yeah. Now, if you gave this to me and you said, what do you think about it? I'd say, oh, and the lacing's nice. Look at that heavy lacing, yeah. I would say, well, it's a really delicious India Pale Ale, extra IPA. I like it. Nothing remarkable. It's not like, it's so much better than Stone IPA. You know, we did that first review for that 2011. Gave it an A then. Give it an A now. It's so much better than Torpedo. No, I don't think you'd say that. Those are, I was going to say West Coast, but those are made all across the United States now. Well, maybe Stone's just in Escondido, California still. They didn't. I know Lagunitas expanded to Chicago. Or Lagunitas IPA, Lagunitas IPA. That's another good example. Those three are very similar one to the other. I think Torpedo is the best of the three, but Lagunitas easiest to find. Nice bitterness, some coffee bitterness. But if somebody gave this to me and said, what do you think? I don't think I would mention coffee. If I didn't know better, I wouldn't mention it. It's like that story I always tell about Michael Komaroff giving me the a blind taste test with the Ballast Point. That's a Ballast Point Sculpin is in the mix with the ones I mentioned, but boy, you can't find it anymore. But the Ballast Point grapefruit Sculpin. And he was like, well, what do you think? I said, it's really nice IPA. Gave it an A and everything. And he said, do you notice anything else special about it? And I was saying, no, not really. And then later he revealed the grapefruit. And I said, oh, I didn't pick that up. But then once I knew it, then I knew it. But so when I did a solo review of grapefruit Sculpin, well, yeah, then I knew. But I think it's the kind of situation here, like I know the coffee's in it, so I'm going to talk about it. But if I didn't know, I really don't think I'd bring it up. I would just think it was the extra IPA. Just, I think that's what would happen. But as an extra IPA, is it really good? It is. Not quite up to the level of the ones I mentioned, the four I mentioned, Ballast Point, or Stone, or Sierra Nevada. Or Lagunitas, or even Cigar City High Lie. Those are so perfected. They're like redundantly great. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, it's an A, it's a 95, it's most excellent, it's most excellent. It's like I'm on a treadmill of excellence, and I'm just drinking them again and again and again, and it becomes so not boring. I never get bored with those. I like redundant excellence. I like redundant most excellence in the A range. This is a very small batch. I think it's got a little too much bitterness relative to the malts. There's really not a lot of solid, bready, strong, and pronounced and malts with a whole lot of character. So it's like not really working on that side, but then it's all on the IPA and perhaps coffee bitterness side. So it's a little unbalanced, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. And it sort of lacks the savoriness of the ones those five that I mentioned. It's not really savory. It's fairly flavorful. I don't know if bitterness is a flavor. Maybe bitterness is more of a feeling. You know what I mean? Like not a flavor, but a feeling in your mouth. I guess it's a taste. Some people say your taste buds can pick up bitterness. I guess it's a flavor. Seems more like a feeling, like heat. But I'm not sure about that. But so not incredibly flavorful, substantially bitter, however. I like it to an extent. I certainly do not love it to any extent. I like the heavy lacing. Bitterness builds with these things, which I don't mind, but most people I know would just, they would take a sip and hand it back and say, no way, never. And like my father's classic statement, why would anybody want to drink something that's bitter? I say, but it's good. You know, these IPAs are good. Oh, no, he would never try them. Well, he doesn't drink any alcohol anymore. But back in his drinking days, he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have drank them. Yeah, there was definitely some sediment because it's clouded up. You could see it was mostly clear before. Now it's opaque. Still translucent, but you can't see through it now. No way. It's just like a orange, like I say, party bulb. Okay, he sent it to me. I didn't ask for it. He sent it to me, so I got to give it a high score because I'm obligated, right? No, I'm not. And Wayne knows that, and Wayne doesn't want me to do that. Wayne's in my camp. You say, your camp? Yeah, they call it as you see it camp. Oh, well, now the coffee's coming into play. I guess somehow the coffeeness settled to the bottom. It's a little peculiar. I think a fair score. The fair score, and I think an accurate score, would be a B. Would be a B. A good beer. A good beer. An interesting beer. An unusual beer to an extent. Not as unusual as you might think when you read the label. But yeah, okay, so I think 84 is fair. 8.4 out of 10. You said, but that's a 16% deficit off the 100, which would be perfect. Yeah, that's right. And I'm pretty confident in this, the way I'm looking at it. I think if my friend David was here, he'd probably, I don't know, he might go even harder against it because he can be very particular. And I told him one time, I said, you're so particular. He said, I'm buying it, ain't I? I don't think he says the word ain't. He might say something like, I'm buying it. Am I not buying it? That's the way he would speak. I said, well, yeah, you're buying it. He said, I can give it whatever score I want to. I'm buying it. Can't argue against that. But boy, when he picks up deficits, it's like he's in attack mode, you know. But I like to give the benefit of the doubt to the company and think that maybe I'm not quite as accurate as I want to be or on the assessment. So yeah, I feel comfortable with 84. That's really all I can do. So thanks, Wayne. I would like to give it a higher score, but I think that 84 is where I'm going to go. So it's a good beer, a B. So laissez-les, bon temps relais. A good beer buys the beer. It's a good beer. If it's $2.99 a can, buys the beer. If it's $4.99, don't buy the beer. But so let price dictate some of this. And I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all go to New Jersey and tour the Flying Fish Brewery.